couple more things that I want to share with you guys before we get up out of here. We want to do this one, and then we want to do a reaction video, all right? First one is regretting moving out of town. So a lot of people during the pandemic that decided that they wanted to move to somewhere nicer, cleaner, safer, less taxes, right? Better weather, less restrictive when it comes to shutting down the federal government during the pandemic and making you take the jab. Lots of people that decided to leave. Well, guess what? They didn't really count the costs. Make sure you take a like, hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it.
Agreed. This is beautiful. You can't ask for a nicer setting.
Months into the pandemic, Dennis Cole sold his Connecticut home and, like hundreds of thousands of Americans, headed to Florida. Many drawn by the state's lower taxes and sunny skies.
It's not the panacea that I had in my head.
But now he's preparing to put his Florida house on the market and move back north.
We have political issues in Florida that are just ugly. We have costs skyrocketing.
Florida has been among the fastest growing states in the nation since the start of the pandemic. In 2022 alone, more than 700,000 people moved there. But
I don't know if y'all realize how many people that is. To have people quite not even out of the pandemic move, over 700,000 people move to Florida all at the same time, that is a massive number. Bro, that's 750,000 people moving to one state. Do you know what that's going to do as far as inflation and costs rising? Because everybody is competing for a place. And so then Florida went on a building spree. And what I actually noticed when I was paying attention, because I visited Florida for a while and I actually moved there during the pandemic for 4 months. I didn't permanently move there. I just rented out an Airbnb and stayed there for a long time. What I found is that a lot of the natives in Florida, or a lot of people that moved there as retirees prior to these 700,000 people that moved there in 2022, they were being pushed further up north because Southern Florida had largely become unaffordable to them. Miami, the Keys, all of that stuff. Then they had to go up to Orlando. Then Orlando, which I think that Orlando is nothing but a tourist destination because there's nothing in Orlando outside of Disney World and Universal Studios or whatever. They were pushing them even further north to Jacksonville. Now I see people even moving out of state and going up to Atlanta and stuff like that because they can no longer afford to live in Florida considering the cost of everybody moving there. In addition to that, all of the insurers has pulled out. I don't know if they're going to talk about that in this particular segment, but the costs are rising significantly. So if you not Diddy or Ross or Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan or any of these people that's over in Monaco during the Grand Prix, and you can't afford to live there or you can't afford to stay there and then be in a Miami shopping district and you just visiting, a lot of times you're going to suffer and you're going to get priced out because you can't even get homeowners insurance while you're down there.
At the same time, nearly 500,000 left, the largest number since the Great Recession. We spoke with dozens of former Florida residents who have recently left the state. Among the reasons they gave, a soaring cost of living.
Yep.
Florida has had one of the nation's highest rates of inflation. Last year, car insurance was up 24% and homeowners insurance jumped 42%.
Did you know that Florida is, I think it's the highest, if not it's the number one or number two state where the cost of living, especially with regard to a car, especially insurance-wise, because they do a lot of carjacking, and a lot of stealing the cars over in Florida, is the highest in the nation. In addition to that, a lot of homeowner insurers decided that they wanted to leave the state, which basically raised the rates for anybody that was still there, that was still trying to get homeowners insurance.
Home prices.
And if you are a person that has a mortgage, did you know that the mortgager or the person that actually owns your mortgage, the bank, and this is why I always tell people that you don't really own your own home. You're just given an illusion of owning your own home. You don't really own your own home. You don't. You know why? Because there's stipulations in order for you to continue to keep that mortgage. Otherwise, they can label you in default. One of the stipulations is that you have to have homeowners insurance, and some mortgagers will get it for you and then make it a part of your mortgage payment in addition to whatever it is that you got to put in an escrow, right? They will make you get homeowners insurance, which will artificially inflate the amount that you're paying per month and your mortgage. And so a lot of y'all think that you own your home, but you can't even determine whether or not you want to pay this rate or this rate. You don't really own your home. And so the cost of living is exploding, which is then forcing people to sell their homes that were originally there and move up and out of Florida altogether.
Have risen 60% since 2020.
They love the blue skies and the dolphins and the water, but this comes at a price.
John Desatel has spent 2 decades selling Florida real estate.
Are you getting a lot of calls from people who moved down here during COVID who are now looking to leave?
Yeah, we are.
And what's the number one reason they're giving?
Politics.
Florida has recently enacted some of the most conservative legislation in the country.
So basically, a bunch of liberals left California and wherever it was that they were and decided that they wanted to move over to Florida because they had made a bunch of money selling their home, or they didn't like what was going on in California, or the taxes was too high, but they liked the politics. They didn't like what the politics yielded, the social services, the homelessness, the rising in rates, the budget deficits, and all of that stuff, right? But they wanted to move over to Florida because it was going to be a better place to live, especially during the wintertime, and it was a lot more relaxed and all of that. Most of the people that left and did whatever it was that they was doing right after the pandemic, they forgot why they left in the first place. And they brought their ways and their voting and their politics along with them, and then they got squeezed out. You know why? Because they realized that it wasn't conducive for them based off of the way that they seen the world, based off of the place that they left. You still you no matter where you go. You're still you no matter where you go.
Including a near total ban on abortions and restrictions on how race and sexuality are taught in schools.
My in-migration people want to move here due to politics. My out-migration people want to move out of here due to politics.
A spokesperson for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said that under his leadership, Florida led the country in domestic in-migration in 2022 and saw the highest population growth rate in generations.
Look, this has always been a transient state. People come and go. That's normal. I think our policies have attracted folks.
For Cole, who considered himself a moderate conservative when he moved to Florida, the state's political shift to the right has contributed to his decision to leave.
Whether it was fighting with Disney, the whole LGBTQ thing, it's just that there are so many things that...
So just say that you're sassy without saying that you're sassy. Don't see, when people say as a black man, as a woman, as a moderate conservative, so you conservative when it comes to your money, but you're not conservative when it comes to the politics as to whether or not they can teach certain things in school. That's what being a moderate conservative in his case is really meaning. That's what being a moderate conservative mean. Hey, listen, I want the kids to be able, even though I ain't got no kids in school, I want them to be able to do whatever it is that they want to do inside of the schools and teach this and teach that, because that may be a part of my lifestyle, but I'm conservative when it comes to my money. I can tell zesty when I see one.
Make it uncomfortable for a lot of people to be here.
Leaving him and others looking for a brighter future outside the Sunshine State. Shannon Pettypiece, NBC News.
And so a lot of people regret moving to Florida because they didn't count the costs. They didn't take into consideration what they was getting themselves into. And I don't even think that most of these people is moving based off of politics. I think most of these people is moving because they broke. Reading Super Chat shortly.
In today's Money Watch, we look at one economic indicator that could hit home in the presidential election: the high cost of buying that first home and living the American dream.
She kind of stacked. Can't really see her neck. Ankles look like they all right. Knees, can't see those. Can't see her elbows. Neck is from a distance, but it looked like it's, it's okay. Let's continue.
This may feel almost unattainable in key battleground states like Arizona, where would-be buyers face housing shortages and high interest rates. Ed O'Keefe spoke with some first-time buyers in the Phoenix area.
This election year in key battleground states, the keys to a first home may feel further out of reach.
Most normal people are pushed out of buying.
Whether housing, whether you're renting, everything's increasing.
Oh, it's outrageous right now. At this point, we're saying that we're probably not going to be able to move.
The housing market, up almost everywhere, is especially hot in Arizona. Finish the sentence for me. The cost of housing is
too high right now. There's no question about that.
And Nathan Claiborne isn't looking to buy a home. He sells them as a realtor in the Phoenix area.
Affordability is certainly the issue here. Your police, your teachers, your firefighters, they can't afford this house.
Or this one he showed us with 3 bedrooms.
All new flooring, all the fixtures are new.
Listed for over $500,000. This might have been 20, 30, 40 years ago, a starter home.
Yeah.
Now this is the end goal.
Aaron, that's your mama? Hold on, let me see. That might be your mother in real life. Y'all kind of look alike. Is that your mom for real? Aaron Miller. Aaron, is that your mom? Let me see. I believe you. I believe that may be your mother, bro. Y'all kind of look alike. Y'all kind of resemble each other. Is that your mom for real, Aaron? Let me know inside of the chat. I'm curious. You don't want us to say that your mom look good? Y'all really do look alike. Bro, if that's your mom, tell me that's your mom. Aaron, let me know. Is that your mother, bro? Seriously. Say, relax, that's my mama. Let me know, Aaron, if that's your mom, bro. Keep me in the loop. Keep me in the loop, bro.
First home and living the American dream. This may feel almost unattainable in key.
If that's your mama, tell her to call me, dog. Tell your mama to call me, dog. Oh, that ain't your mama? All right, my bad. All right, cool. Well, good. Then the joke went well. Tell your mama to hit me up, bro.
Battleground states like Arizona, where would-be buyers face housing shortages and high interest rates. Ed O'Keefe spoke with
I'm sorry. I got to get back to the part that I was at. I'm sorry.
Firefighters, they can't afford this house.
Or this one he showed us with 3 bedrooms.
All new flooring, all the fixtures are new.
Listed for over $500,000. This might have been 20, 30, 40 years ago, a starter home.
Yeah.
Now this is the end goal.
This is a move-up home. Yeah, absolutely.
In part, Claiborne says, because a lot of buyers are moving in from out of state. Now, only 2% of Arizonans say housing here is very affordable, while 42% tell a recent CBS News poll it's very unaffordable.
What is affordable and what is unaffordable? Cost of housing in your part of Arizona is very affordable, says 2%, 17% says somewhat affordable, 38% says somewhat unaffordable, and 42% it says very unaffordable. Everybody gonna think that everything is unaffordable unless they getting it for free.
While 42% tell a recent CBS News poll it's
very unaffordable. You know what? I want to do more news. I want to do more news ladies on the couch. I want to do I just want to spend the rest of the year only talking to news ladies on the couch. If I can get some news. If y'all know some news ladies that don't mind taking a first-class flight to Detroit, we treat all of our guests and we put them in the best hotels in order for them to be able to get their visibility on. I heard there was a bunch of newscasters that got fired out here in these streets. If y'all want to come out here and come kick it with Time Dog, I might have a position on over here for you for one of my channels, and you might even make more money than you was on the news. Come and holler at me, man. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. Let's continue.
Like those we met at Goodwood Tavern in Scottsdale.
You guys doing okay over here?
Joshua Snyder runs the bar. He's 45 and is closing tomorrow on the first home he's owned. Did you get everything you were looking for?
I think we did.
But it took years of looking as prices kept going up.
I feel like it jumped 40% in 3 years.
Our poll finds 88% of Arizonans say buying a home is harder than it was for their parents.
So when my parents were my age, they owned a home and had been for a couple of years.
Laura Newkirk's parents helped her save for a down payment.
Tell me you go to holler at me, baby.
Fourth or fifth offer.
And you've come up short each time.
So far.
So Ryland Tuttle and Kelsey Graft moved in with family to save. Is it easier or harder to buy a home now than, say, it was 4 years ago?
Harder.
Definitely harder.
Only reason that people say it's harder is because it's much more difficult for y'all to pay what y'all want to pay. That don't mean that it's harder, that the process is harder. That just means that a lot of people was overbuying and spending more money than they could because of a lot of people. Okay, so here's really what's happening, all right? And then we're going to move over into the next segment of the show because I want to get to this last part. What's really happening is that people can't buy or purchase or get what it is that they think that they want or that they deserve for the price that they want it at. And so instead of you lowering your standards, a lot of times what they do is they just continue to search for or overpay ultimately for the property that they wind up getting themselves into. And that's not a solution. It's not a solution. I'm not really a fan of overspending and overpaying and overbuying for whatever it is that we got going on. I'm a fan of staying within your budget, minimizing the amount of money that you're spending. Actually, I'm a fan of staying lower than your budget and then ultimately getting the thing that you want. So anyways, good luck to all of those homeowners or the people that want to be future homeowners, only for them to lose their home so I can come back and buy it.